And to discuss this further, I'm joined in the studio by Gokhan Cete. He is an anti-smuggling expert at the Turkish Ministry of Culture and Tourism. Thank you so much for coming in, Gokhan. So up to now, this is what your government, the Turkish government, says. 43,000 relics stolen from Turkey have been returned, but up to 200,000 relics still remain outside, as we heard in that report from Aadel Haleem. What is the Turkish government, your ministry, in fact, doing to bring these relics back?
We have an anti-smuggling department within our ministry, and there we have 12 experts, and they regularly check auction houses, museums, and galleries from all over the world. And when they detected an object, our first response is to communicate with our counterparts, and sometimes, unfortunately, we have to apply legal procedures. And this is...
Tell me, Gokhan, where are most of these 200,000 relics that were stolen from Turkey? Where are they right now? In what countries predominantly?
Mainly European, and we are referring these market countries, and Europe, North American countries. And the problem is strongly linked with the human passion of collecting things to exhibit,
private collectors, for
exhibit wealth, elegance, and power. Even today, most developed countries and most prestigious cultural institutions are very proud to exhibit their rich collections. How could they make these collections? In colonial period, some Western missions and excavation teams sent a huge amount of artifacts to Europe. So
you have the so-called forgotten treasures of Troy. Exactly. That were taken out by an Austrian so-called archaeologist and then smuggled through Greece and into Europe. Now, even some collections are found in Russia. So Germany has claims, Russia has claims. How does Turkey compete when there's so many claims on these objects?
We depend on scientific research. We are not conducting a policy like chauvinism. We just looking after our own cultural heritage for every country. And we believe that cultural heritage is an irreplaceable resource, and not only it should be protected, but it should also be kept accessible to especially citizens of the countries of origin and next generations.
So you work with the anti-smuggling unit at the Turkish Culture Ministry. What does this entail? Because on the one hand, you have artifacts which have been dug in or stolen from Turkey, but with the Syrian war, you also had Syrian artifacts being smuggled into Turkey and then onwards elsewhere. Tell us about that.
We are very working in collaboration with our colleagues all over the world for this issue, because intergovernmental bodies also get involved in this question. So yes, our law enforcement seized a certain amount of objects coming from Syria, and on several occasions our ministry declared that these will be returned to their homeland after the conflicts end, and because they are subject to penal courts.
So the material that you get from Syria, for example, the artifacts, relics, will be returned back to Syria or Iraq.
Exactly.
But we don't know when.
After conflicts end, and these courts proved that these objects came from Syria.
But then can't the Western countries where Turkey finds its objects in, one of their things that, you know, these artifacts should remain in Germany or Russia or Greece because maybe the Turks or the Turkish government can't take care of these relics? What would you say to that?
I think this is not an accurate argument, because Turkey has a strong infrastructure, has invested a lot in cultural heritage studies, and we have a lot of laboratories, museums with enough experts, enough funds, and enough equipment. I don't mean we are not open to collaboration, but okay, we'll keep it for you. It doesn't sound me like international collaboration. So as I said earlier, cultural heritage is a unique resource and irreplaceable, and it's so important for the education of next generations, and ideally they should be exhibited in their homeland.
You've got UNESCO as an international body taking care of looking after heritage sites, and you've got the UNESCO World Heritage List as well. Are there any other international norms, standards, laws by which Turkey can claim that these relics be repatriated to Turkey?
Yes, our main reference text is UNESCO 1970 Convention, and their role is unique in creating new tools and promoting their implementation. But the most important thing is national legislation of different countries. And UNESCO presents a good platform for us, international platform, but all countries involved in this question must have a standardized national legislation.
Have you recently been part of any anti-smuggling unit that has caught relics from being, or stopped relics from being transported outside of Turkey? Can you give us a few examples?
I can tell you about the Herakles sarcophagus, which came back in Turkey in 2017. First, we learned the existence of the sarcophagus by a note sent by Swiss authorities to Turkish National Police. And Swiss customs seized an undeclared sarcophagus in Geneva. And after their preliminary research, they came to a conclusion that this may have come from Turkey. And Turkish and Swiss prosecutors opened investigations. Ministry carried out scientific research, and we found out that this has been excavated and unearthed in Perge, near Antalya, an ancient Roman city. Finally, Geneva chief prosecutor decided the return of this artifact, but possessors at that time appealed this decision in Geneva court. Geneva court's decision was also in favor of us, but then this time they appealed in Swiss High Court. But for some reason, they preferred to withdraw their appeal, and we were able to bring it back to Turkey in 2017.
And that was a very significant development for your department.
Yes, it's a good success, and also it's a good example of international collaboration.
On returning artifacts to countries like Turkey. Gokhan Cete, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.